everybody, Joy here. It's Tuesday now. I'm waiting for a real live person to come on my computer. I just cannot stand those AI people. They just are so, how can you say it nicely? They're horrible. They never understand what I tell them. They always ask me different questions. They always try to sell me something else. They are clueless. I cannot imagine robots running the world. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I talked to you on my last video about making a new project. Let's make the Itch to Stitch Celeste dress. I don't know if I've ever made any Itch to Stitch patterns yet. I have purchased several of them, but I don't think I've ever made one. Now when you purchase their patterns, they're all digital, so you download them. So over here you can see how I've downloaded the pattern. The pattern will come with instructions, and it will also come with pattern pieces that you print on your printer on copy paper, and then you print out the numbers of pages she tells you to in the instructions, and then you tape them together. So let me show you what I have so far. I've printed out the drawing of the dress so I can see what piece goes to what, and it shows you how to figure out your bust. I'm going to use the C. I can't imagine that I need the DD, but according to that I do. But I'm going to start with the C. I printed out the measurements, and you can see how I've chosen my measurements there on that paper. Those aren't exactly my measurements, but those are close enough. My measurements can be smaller than that, sometimes they can be bigger than that, but that's close enough. That's the ones I'm going to use. Like for instance, my bust is really only 41, and my hips are really only 41, and my waist can be 34, 35, 36, it depends. But that's what I'm going to use, the size 12 with the C cup. She has cup sizes in most of her patterns. That's why I bought them in the first place. Now I'm not going to print out 1,000 pages. I also printed out this page that shows you how to tape the papers together. So see here she says, if you have the C cup, you print out pages 37 to 43 for those pattern pieces. That's not all the pattern pieces, but that's the pieces you're going to need for your bust size. And then she shows you how to tape together all of the different pages. So I have marked in pink my size 12. It has 12 sizes here. And I could have printed this out in color, but I just printed it in black and white, so I left it that way. And so these two pieces go together. You can see here on the picture how center front is a short piece and the two side pieces are long. So that's what you have here. You have a long side piece and a short center front. So what I'm going to do is palmer and plush this. This is an Itch to Stitch pattern. She probably has lots of instructions on how to get it to fit you. I'm a palmer and plush sizing person where I size the paper to fit me. So I'm going to cut out those two pieces and actually pin them together. Be sure you mark, I hate the way the shadows. Be sure you mark the seam allowance because different companies have different seam allowances. So I'm going to mark the seam allowances on these two pieces. I'm going to cut them out, pin them together, and I'm going to see how that much of the pattern fits my body. Right now it's late at night and I'm in my pajamas, so we'll probably do that part tomorrow. You don't ever want to try on the paper unless you've got the undergarments on that you're going to wear with the real garment when you get it all done. Alright, you can see now that I have all the seam allowances marked. I marked them with a purple pen, but then I couldn't see that very good, so I just colored it with my yellow chalk so it would show up better. So you can see I am ready to cut those two pieces out. I know exactly where to pin them together. This is stiff copy paper now, so it's not going to fit like fabric, but we can get some idea of if it's going to reach from my side seam to the center of my body. Let me show you something that's really nice that this lady does. I don't know her name. This pattern was made in July of 2020 evidently, so I've probably owned it that long. But she not only shows herself in the dress, she has a whole bunch of ladies that are her testers that make the dress. And so you can scroll through lots and lots of pictures to see a whole bunch of other people who made the dress, and you can see them wearing it. And I really, really like that about this pattern company. That's Karina. Y'all know Karina. I think that one's really cute. But look at the neck. See the neck? How it kind of gapes on her. It doesn't lay directly on her skin. I will probably fix that. It's probably a shoulder slope issue. And I'll fix that and make sure that touches my shoulders. Now, it may be the way she's standing with her hands in her pockets. It's hard to tell sometimes. I didn't really notice it on a lot of other people. But isn't it a cute dress? Look at how that lady matched the diagonals here in the center front. It has a center front seam, but I don't see any reason that you really need to have a center front seam. Okay? So this is all pictures of the Celeste dress. And every pattern this lady has is like this. They're all digital, though. I actually bought a book this lady wrote. Probably at my other house. And I think it has some patterns in that book, too. Okay, you can go to itchtostitch.com, and you can look at it. I'm not an affiliate, I'm not a tester, I'm not anything. I just like to show people why I decide to do something and how I found it and what it's like and things like that. But absolutely not an affiliate at all. Now there are some pros and cons to those kinds of patterns. Number one, you have to use your own paper and your own ink, and I had to print out 57 pages that all have to be cut and glued or taped. They'll be taped together. I already cut out this many and put this many together because Itch to Stitch Patterns, this is a pro, has bust sizing. So it will give you different pages for your bust size. Oh wait, I have a real person. I'll be back. So I was telling you how I printed out the C cup. I probably need the DD according to what I read later, but I wanted to try this first. And so I have it all pinned. This is copy paper, and you can see it's stiff. But for now, it's good enough. And remember, this is paper, and you're going to be making it out of fabric. So the paper comes past my center front because this has a seam allowance. I'm going to put it on center front on the fold, but it has a seam allowance. I don't know why it has a seam there. And it meets over here on my side seam. Remember, it's going to have a panel. You saw, well, here, let me show you the picture. See, it has the gathered piece in the middle for over your belly. You have to have that if you're pregnant or if you're old. So it looks like it's going to fit me really good. So I'm going to go ahead and tape together the 1,000 other pages. The thing about that is you only have to do it one time. And the other thing about it is when you order these kinds of patterns from the companies I've gotten them from, the instructions are usually amazing and really help you put the garment together. So I'm going to start out cutting and taping this morning. I wanted to show you here how I marked the seam allowances. Isn't that fun? Now I could have printed this out in color and all of these lines would have been different colors, but I decided to put my own colors on here. Another thing you can do is, and I did it, let me show you, I did it. You can put this in your Adobe and you can print out just the one size. So I printed out just the size 12 in all the other pages. But for this part, I just printed out however many sizes are there and figured out what size was me. And then my lightning fast mind clicked in and I remembered you could print off just one size. So I'm going to get the rest of it taped together, pinned together, and try it on again. But guess what happened? I tried this on before I started my video. And I'm like, looking around the room and I'm like, I don't have a mirror. And the only mirror I have is in the bathroom, and of course it's just, you know, from here up or whatever. So that what I was doing on Home Depot was ordering a 3-way mirror. I don't know if I already told you that, but I found one that's really nice. It's expensive, But listen, if you order a three-way mirror and you just get a really cheap one, that's fine. I wouldn't care if it was plastic. I wouldn't care if it was metal. I wouldn't care if it was cardboard, as long as it looked nice. But the thing is the glass. The glass makes a difference. The kind of mirror makes a difference. So, very, very important that you order a quality mirror. Not so much just pay attention to the frame. Okay? Actually, one of the places that I looked at on the computer a while ago when I was searching for one, it showed money, pennies. It showed like 6 pennies sitting on the glass and showed the reflection, how good the reflection was. So, remember that. Okay, I've got to talk to Billy. We're supposed to be Zooming this week because we have a whole new thing we're doing. Oh, I can't wait to tell you about it. It is Wednesday, and it is, I think, March the 6th. I'm never sure on the date. My phone is, oh, here's my phone. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if Siri knows the date. Yep, March 6th, 2024. And I'm in the middle of some snippets, and I'll tell you, I'm not sure all the things I told you, but I have a feeling I was telling you about this itch to stitch pattern. Pros and cons. If you have not been trained, either by yourself or someone else, on how to make the paper fit you, I would recommend you run far and fast away from these tape it together patterns. So much work, so much work. I was able to get my round back in it, but I had to put the 2 pieces together, the center back and the side back, and then cut. Same with the sway back. Tons of work. No FBA. Now that's the good part, remember, pros and cons. The pro is the full bust adjustment's already in it because it comes with bust sizing. I have all the pieces ready to cut out, and I came in here yesterday and ironed my fabric. Remember my pretty blue fabric from Joanne? It's really cute. I'll show you up close. See? Isn't it cute? Is that ceiling fan bothering y'all? Let's turn that off. Yeah, so I like this, and I like blue. Blue is a good color on me. A lot of you say you like me in pink. So, you know, I would have bought some pink, but they didn't really have any pink I like. So remember I bought the tulips. So I have this all ironed and this all ironed and all ready to cut out. But that's not what I want to tell you today. I want to give you a tip. I came down here to this sewing room yesterday to cut this out because this is the only cutting mat I have right now. I ordered that big cutting table upstairs that came with a mat to fit it, and the mat is out of stock until April, although they managed to charge me for it already back in December or November or whenever I ordered it. So I think that's totally unfair. But this is the only cutting mat I have. A lot of you say, where'd you get your cutting mats? That one came upstairs with the table. I think it was kangaroo. So I have a tip. Came up here yesterday to finish this because I wanted to show it to you. But my thread racks were all over the floor. There's 5 of them on the wall. I had 6 total, and they were all on the floor. I couldn't do anything in here but trip over thread racks. So I decided to hang them up. Now Jerry wasn't here. Jerry had gone, he was over working in his barn here doing something. I didn't want to bother him. So I tried to hang these up myself. Oh no, bad idea, bad idea. Because when the racks are full of thread, they're very heavy. And I wanted to take the legs, 2 of them had legs, and I wanted to take the legs off. So I laid it upside down, not paying attention to which way I was laying it down, and all the thread fell off, bounced on the table, bounced on the floor, bounced out the door. Bobbins everywhere. By the time Jerry came in here, I had half a dozen holes in the wall. I had all the thread dumped off of 2 racks. I actually got this one up by myself. And I got that one up by myself. But when I went to do this one, I was just exhausted and I couldn't even hold it up. And I kept trying to level it and the level kept falling down. So Jerry came in later and we took the thread racks down and we drilled holes and we put, when I say we, I mean Jerry. Jerry did it right. He won't let me touch his drill, or I darn sure would have tried. So he drilled the holes, and one of the things he did that I've never done before, I don't have a pointer. You know, I do have a pointer somewhere. I bought 2 pointers, but do you think I can ever find one? You know, the kind the teachers use. Well, I have a purple thing. Let me use my purple thing. So these thread racks came with no hangers. They had legs on them. So there was no way to hang them up. This one didn't have legs, and there was still no way to hang it up. So at the other house, I just hammered great big long nails in, and I hung them up by this top board, just sitting on nails sticking out of the wall. So Jerry drilled holes up at the top. You see this board that comes down like this? It sticks out at the bottom, and it sticks out at the top. Well, Jerry drilled holes at the very, very top of those boards. Maybe you can see them. So we could just put the anchors in the wall and then put these big screws directly through, instead of me just having a loose nail here. And the nails, you had to put the nails in at an angle like this, or the thread racks would just fall off. My way was very bad, although it worked for 20 years at the other house. So these aren't going anywhere. And so since they aren't going anywhere, I want to show you. I had one more thread rack, and it was bright pink. I decided I didn't like it, so I took all of the thread off of that, and I put all the thread on these racks. These racks did hold a whole bunch, maybe 100 threads of sulky thread. So I took all the sulky thread off and I put it somewhere else. So I was able to get all my thread from the dark pink rack. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. I was able to get all my thread on these racks, plus leave the bottom row without any spools. See the bottom row? These are all thread spools. See them sticking out? And I just love those for hanging things on. Wonderful, wonderful. Remember my darling little case that my friend Chris made me? I just love this. Just love it. Because if I put something in a drawer, it might as well have run away down the street and gotten lost. If I look up here, I can find what I want instantly because it's right here in front of me. So love, love, love this. Maybe some of you will like it and want to do it too. So if you get a thread rack, leave the bottom empty, and you can use it for hangers for your scissors and stuff. I'll show you up close in a minute. So thank goodness for Jerry. We had 2 ladders in here. We had the table moved across the room. We had a level. We had sheetrock dust everywhere. I tell you, I spend 99% of my time cleaning, trying to keep all the stuff off the floor from hanging things on the wall. Haven't brought any pictures from the other house yet. We've got gorgeous pictures there. And they look so good with that house. I almost feel like we should just sell them with the house if anybody would want them. But we shall see. And yes, we are talking about selling that house again now that Jerry's feeling good again. And we'll see. Day by day. We get down there and Jerry just falls in love with it every time we go down there. But we'll see. Okay, so I have my pattern already. I'm going to cut it out. Now, it's supposed to be a dress. Remember, it is the Celeste Dress, but it may turn into, I'm looking for a picture. Of course, I can't find one. Here. It may turn into the Celeste top for me. I'm wearing my pink dress today. Did you notice? Yeah. So I'm going to spread out my blue fabric. I'm going to lay out my pattern. I'm going to start sewing this thing together. And remember, the Stitch to Itch, Itch to Stitch company. I don't have it because it's still upstairs. I'll have to go get it. Or is this it? Wait a minute. This is it. They give you a whole download of just instructions. They give you the download of all the pattern pieces, but then they give you a download of the instructions. So they show you, like any other pattern company does, how to lay it out on the fabric. And then they give you detailed instructions. Give you the usual description of what this means, what that means, and then they give you detailed color directions of what to do and how to do it with each piece. So, a pro is the excellent directions. A con is taping paper together with yards and yards of Scotch tape for hours. But we'll see if it's worth it. And then the thing is, once you have it all taped together and you have it as a pattern, well then, you know, it's done, it's over with, and you can use it for the rest of your life. And that is as long as you stay the same size for over 5 minutes. There seems to be an issue with me. I'm only up, down 5 pounds, thank goodness. So up 5, down 5, up 5, down 5, week to week basis. All right, I'll be back. So it's dinner time now, 10 after 5. So I have to go cook something, or talk Bernhardt's into taking us out to eat somewhere. So you have watched me cut out my very first garment at our new house in Mounds. This is my very, very first one. I'm so excited. This goes right here, like that. And then something else goes here. Now, I did have to cut it down to be a blouse. I had to cut 11 inches off the bottom of every piece because I didn't have enough fabric. Because, you know, I just buy fabric because I like the fabric. And if I find a garment that needs more fabric than what I have, then I often turn the dress into a top. And I hardly ever make a dress, so it doesn't matter. Heating up my iron to press something, and then that's it for today. So I'll come back tomorrow and show you my progress on this cute little garment. Well, I hope it's cute. It'll be cute if I can get it on. It's hard to do some of the fitting on this because of the cup size that's already in it. So that may or may not work out. We'll check on it tomorrow together. I can't even remember what I told y'all last. But I want to show you something. Pardon my blouse. Just went to eat at a restaurant we haven't been to before. I picked up my sister and went there, and it was wonderful. And I had breakfast, and I got maple syrup on my shirt. So pardon that. I want to show you my favorite interfacing in the whole wide world for cotton garments. It is called Perfect Fuse Sheer by Palmer Plesh. You know the Palmer Plesh people. I talk about them all the time. So it comes in 1 yard or 3 yards. And this is 3 yards. And it's very, 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 very wide. It's got to be 60 inches wide at least. I don't know. I don't see it here saying how wide it is. But it's very wide. So you could cut out a whole back or a whole front of a garment. I'm just cutting out the usual parts that you interface on a garment today. But be sure when you buy a product like this, it's fusible. Be sure you read the directions, because I haven't used this in quite a while. As you know, we've been moving since October. I was just pressing it with a hot iron, and I went back in and got it out of the closet and read the directions. Really, I recommend doing that first, not last. And it said to use steam, shots of steam. So I'm going to go back and do that and get my interfacing on, and then I'm going to start putting this garment together. But I wanted to tell you about that really good interfacing. You can get it online, Palmer and Plesh. That's where I get it. So you're the first to see. This is the first try on. So I made the 12, if I remember right, and I made the C cup. Now look here. Look what we've got. We have this big tuck that wants to be taken right here in the armhole. That means, what does it mean? Raise your hand if you know what it means. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It means I need a bigger bust dart. So I suppose I should have done the D. But the thing is, there's plenty. There's just plenty everywhere. And I ended up with this extra over here in the armhole. I might could take, no, shoulder slope is perfect. The back, side, the front. Now it does have a sleeve, so the sleeve will help take that in a little bit. It's a little short sleeve, but isn't it cute? I need to move the camera down some more. I can't get back far enough to show it to y'all. Now it's not a dress anymore. I couldn't make the dress because I didn't have enough fabric. And besides, I like to wear a blouse better anyway. And it has a 1-inch hem. So I still have to take a 1-inch hem. But look at how cute this pattern is. Look at the pockets. Is that too cute? I found the directions confusing. I think that she should have called this piece the pocket. She called it the side front piece or something. I cut 11 inches off the bottom of every piece. So I can't really find the part I cut off, and it's got the name on it. But she didn't call this the pocket piece. She called it the side front or side front panel or something like that. And I found that very confusing. But how do you like the Celeste top? The way you can see it, it probably looks like a dress. Will I make it again? I think I will. In order to do a bigger bust, you only have to do these two pieces. This piece and this piece for the bigger bust. And I might try that to see if I can get these folds to go away. See, this is just screaming, you need a bigger dart, lady. And I don't know why. So the top isn't done. This will be in another 1/2 inch. Facing isn't on it yet. See, that's all going to come in. The sleeve will come in another 1/2 inch, and I may take it 5/8 inch because it's too big for me. Yeah, I need to cut the sleeve back. I'll have to mark that. Want to see me do it? You have to get some kind of a marker. And it needs to be a friction pen so you can erase it. And so what you do is, now I've got the top on, the sleeves aren't in yet, I can still fix the shoulders because they're too far out on me. So what you do is you lift your shoulder and you find that valley. You have a valley in there. And so then you take your marker and you mark your valley right there. And over here, your valley might be different over here. It might be. Now, I need my other hand to hold my pen. I think it's right there. Okay, so now this has a 1/2 inch seam. So what I'll do is I will mark a 1/2 inch outside that mark I just made. I may have to get Jerry to help me to make sure I get it right, or go in there to the bathroom where there's a mirror. I've ordered a 3-way mirror, did I tell you? I don't know if it'll be way too big for the house, but if it is, I can return it. So we shall see about that. But boy, I missed my 3-way mirror for sewing. 3-way mirror is so helpful for sewing. Because if you have to hold a mirror in front of you, you're going to lift your shoulders up to look behind you. And if you're just doing it on one side, you're going to have one shoulder up, one shoulder down, one hip up, one hip down. 3-way mirror is the best for sewing. I used to have one you could hang on the door, but I gave that to my friend Mary when I sold my house in Edmond, and I haven't seen another one online since. So I don't know, maybe one fell off the door and killed somebody or something, I don't know. But I can't find them anymore. Alrighty, so tell me what you think. You want to make the Celeste? If you want to make it, I'll make another one, and then I'll show you how to do it so you can get through the hard part. Remember, the hardest beginning part is to put all the pattern pieces together. But once it's done, it's done. Now, if you do that and it doesn't fit you, then you're going to have to start over. And you're going to have a whole lot of Scotch tape. But, you know, if you're old like me and you've got days when you're home alone in the house and you have lots and lots of time to sew, it's a project. It's like being an engineer, sort of, or a rocket scientist or something like that, trying to figure out how to make a garment that actually fits you when you get it done. Okay, I'm going to let you go for now. I got to fix supper. So good morning on Friday, March 8th. I have completely lost track of how many clips I have on this camera. Probably a bunch. But I don't remember if I showed you last night. I think I put this on and showed you last night that it's got fullness in the sleeve, in the armhole. Maybe I need the larger bust adjustment. But before I change it, I'm going to put the sleeves in and see if that doesn't suck up some of the fullness in the armhole, and finish the neck and hem it. I love this pattern. It is the cutest top. I just love it. You remember what we're making? We're making the Itch to Stitch Celeste. C-E-L-E-S-T-E. Itch to Stitch Celeste. I'm sure it'll be in the description or the description box below, or in the title of this video. But super cute, and I love this fabric. This might be cheap fabric from Joann, but I love it. I think it is so cute. Can't wait to wear it. I'm so tired of wearing the same tops over and over and over and over. And yes, I have a lot of them, but most of my knit tops are getting messed up. And I'll tell you a tip from Peggy Sagers. I learn something from Peggy Sagers all the time. Do you know who Peggy Sagers is? SilhouettePatterns.com. She has tons and tons and tons of videos, and they're usually an hour long, and it's just Silhouette Patterns Live, and you can find those on YouTube. And she has fabrics now. She's always had fabrics, but now she puts the fabrics on her live show on Tuesdays. I know a lot of you must know her. And she holds them up, and she'll unroll them, and she'll say, this is a cotton, it's a woven, it's printed on the front, it's white on the back, it has a lot of drape, or it has no drape, or whatever, it doesn't wrinkle a lot. And she shows it close to the camera, and it's just wonderful. It's like you're getting to go to a fabric store. I think a lot of people really love it because she's doing it more and more often. So let me finish this top, and then I'll put it on, and we will decide whether it's a perfect fit or it still needs more work. All right, so it's after 4 o'clock. Time for me to go start dinner again. It's dark and pouring rain outside. And I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna give you a tip. Don't make clothes for yourself without a mirror. You can't do it. I have halfway mirror, you know, how the mirror's above the sink in the bathroom. That's not good enough. I can only see from here up. You need a full-length mirror. If you can't get a 3-way, at least get a 1-way. I ordered a 3-way, and it won't be here for a couple weeks. And it won't fit in this room. It's going to be upstairs, but you know, my aerobic exercise is up and down the stairs 100 times a day. I do have a full-length mirror that the previous owner left in our bedroom, and I might put it out there in the itty-bitty place right outside this door where you go into the safe room if there's a tornado. I might put a mirror there because there's no room in here. Or maybe right there where you are. Maybe right where you're at, I might could fit that mirror. You have to have a mirror, my friends. I'll tell you what my thoughts are about this Celeste pattern. Remember, it was a dress pattern. I cut it off and made a blouse. The facing inside took me longer than to make the whole rest of the blouse. I'm not making that up. It did. I do not like the way the facing is done. I could do it so much easier and so much faster. And I will next time. I have the usual gaping right here. So I need to take a tuck down to the apex and make this just a tiny bit, quarter inch, a little bit tighter. I took the armholes in, I cut a 1/2 inch at the shoulder off and tapered it down to the notches, front and back. Here's my little slivers. You can see I cut off the shoulders. This one fell apart at the seam. Otherwise, the sleeves would be, I put one in to see, and it was clear out here. I still look like the flying nun because the sleeves are way too big for me. My arm's 11 inches. Is it 10 and a half? I think my arm's 10 and a half. Let's measure just to get the real deal now. Ah! You really need Philly to help you sew. My Philly and I, we started to Zoom today, but we decided we needed to practice something before we could Zoom. All right, my arm is like 10 inches. 10 inches. You need 2 inches of ease in a sleeve, right? This sleeve, take off the seam allowances, which are 1/2 inch, measure the sleeve, and this is 16.5 inches around here. That's why it's so big. It's 16.5 inches. What did I say mine was? 10, 10 and a half, 11 and a half, 12 and a half. I need 12 and a half, 13 inches at the most. This is 16. Too big. It's too big through here, too. Too big through here. And so I need to take it in here, make the sleeve smaller, take a tiny tuck in the neck, do the facing completely different, but I adore the pattern. I love, love, love the pattern. I love the little tummy shield here, and I love the pockets. So I think it fits me pretty good in the back. I've got to have Jerry measure me from the floor up to see if I need fuller bust adjustment in the front, if I'm higher in the back, lower in the back than the front, or if by some miracle of miracles, the front and the back are the same. You know, it could happen. As many garments as I make. So I'm going to end this video right here. Oh my goodness, I think I've got 100 snippets on that camera. But I'll try to make some sense out of it to give you all a video to watch. Love you. I'll be back soon.